procrastination and overwhelm. Like, raise your hand if this is you. I think the overwhelm, a really big component of overwhelm these days is like information overwhelm. People are always plugged into a podcast. They're always listening to music. They're scrolling Instagram. They're doing a course like all at one time. They're watching TV. They're driving the car. They're cooking dinner. It's like people are doing 5 things at once, and you shouldn't be, because back in the caveman days, when we wouldn't do this, but when the guys would go and, hunt something for dinner, they were on a, 3-hour walk. They weren't listening to podcasts. They couldn't even have a conversation for 3 hours because there wasn't enough going on in their lives to be able to talk for 3 hours. And so we were a lot more, we were focused on ourselves. We could hear our thoughts. Could feel our body. We were focused on us. Our energy was inside of us. Now our energy is so outside of us. Like, it's egocentric. It's focused on what other people are doing, what other people are thinking, like what else we should be doing. It's like constant comparisonitis. It's constant, like, I got to be doing better, achieving better, blah, 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 because we are comparing to other people. So that piece of the overwhelm is really important, in that sometimes we can think we're overwhelmed and therefore we need to do less. We need to not join her year, or we need to pull back on our social life. But that might not be the reason. That might not be the source of your overwhelm, right? That actually could mitigate your overwhelm. Often the source of overwhelm, I've figured out with clients, is information overwhelm. I'm like, turn off some fucking devices. Like, go to bed at 10 p.m. Stop scrolling Instagram. Stop listening to podcasts. Like as I record a podcast, that can actually really help with overwhelm. Take all of this pressure and these to-do lists, these tasks off your to-do list. Make dinner easier for yourself. If we're literally inside of her, and now it's her year, the tips that I gave you guys for time management with dinner, the amount of you in testimonials and in the form that were that alone changed my fucking life. And we're talking about dinner time management tips, because that literally, the thought of cooking dinner every night when we're tired, that can cause a massive amount of overwhelm. Often the things that we think are causing the overwhelm, it's not that. It's these little tiny micro things that are adding up. It's too many of them. But one of those things is fucking scrolling, because the dopamine hits and then the drops, and the fact that your baseline for dopamine is now so high, that can create the overwhelm, the anxiety, the depression-y kind of feelings. That can actually create that more than anything else. And then with the procrastination, I think this one is pretty self-explanatory. If we procrastinate, I kind of said this in the last episode as well, we procrastinate on creating our dream lives. We procrastinate on showing up for them, because you have to show up for them. You have to take action on them. We procrastinate on the healing, on the integration, on the embodiment. We procrastinate on all of that, not because we don't want our dream lives, but because we are so afraid of failing. So afraid of failing. We're so afraid of reaching for the stars and not getting our dream lives. So we think, you know what? It's better to not try and not fail than try and fail. I'm telling you right now, from someone that's failed a lot, trying and failing is always better than the feeling that eats you alive of what if. What if? I've experienced those what ifs before, fucking have. I don't experience them anymore because I do the things I want to fucking do. If I think to myself, would I be bummed if I didn't do this thing? And I'm talking little examples, like going out with friends. I'll think to myself, if I don't go out with friends, even though I'm kind of feeling lazy right now, if I say no, will I then think later, will I think tomorrow, oh, what if I went out with them? What would have happened? Yep. All right, we're going. Even little things like that. We procrastinate because we're lazy, because we are afraid of failure. And that fear of failure comes from a place of ego. It's because of, I truly believe it's because of social media, where we feel like we're under so much scrutiny. I'm like, okay, if your friends are scrutinizing you because you quote unquote failed at something that you tried, please make them your ex-friends. I'm serious. But truly, it's we show up less for ourselves these days. Honestly, I think because of social media, because we think that our lives have to look so perfect, and failing on something that you went out and tried to do would just be oh my God, the worst thing that could happen in the world. But I'm no, it's not, because if you would I don't even see things as failing. I honestly, I know it sounds cheesy, but I see it as redirection. I truly do. I failed on things. I failed on business things. I failed on personal things. And you know what? Every time when I look back, I go, thank God that didn't work, because look what happened as a result. A recent situation happened with work. And I go, thank God that failed, because you know what? That wasn't meant to be. And I truly know that because I then found out the thing that was meant to be. I'm not just saying that as like a way to make myself feel better, or something didn't work out. And I'm like, yeah, now I get it. Like I can only connect the dots going backwards, not forwards. And I'm like, of course that didn't work out, because look at what was meant to happen instead. Like this thing, right? There is like so much that you can learn, so much that you can learn when you fail, because the truth is you only really learn when you fail. You only really get those nuggets for yourself that then allows you to take the best next steps that quantum leaps you and like condenses time. You only learn those nuggets when you fail or when you fuck something up. You don't learn them when everything's going great. Think about it. At school, you know when you would make a mistake and you'd kind of make it a little bit publicly sometimes, like they were the really good ones, where you'd like answer the question and you're like so confident about it and the teacher's like wrong. And you're like, oh my God, never making that mistake again. And you never do. Like you never make that mistake again in your life, because we learn from those moments where our ego is like crushed, because we then like tap back into ourselves. We feel ourselves. We feel like more like not so necessarily in the classroom, but we actually feel our truth. You know, when it comes to creating our dream life, when something fails, like we already knew that wasn't for us, or it wasn't 100% the right thing, but maybe we weren't fully trusting our intuition because it didn't make sense. Like it all was pointing towards that, or you thought it was all great. But then once you fail, you're like, oh, I kind of knew that was going to happen. I kind of knew. There was that 1% of you that was wondering. And so we learn. And so I said this in the previous episode, in those things that you're scared of, that you don't want to do, that's where your quantum leap is. Like that is where it is. It is in the shit that you don't want to do. It's in the thing that you're scared of, that you want to run away from, because that is where your growth is, because it is outside your comfort zone. And failing is scary. Failing can feel like, whoa, to your nervous system, aka it's outside your comfort zone, but that's what grows us and expands us. One of the biggest conversations I'm having right now with women that are like wanting to live big lives is the subconscious fear of that will affect my relationship with men, that will affect my relationship with my husband or my dating experience or whatever it is. And yeah, it absolutely fucking can. It can ruin it. It can become really challenging, or it can not become really challenging, and it cannot negatively affect your dating experience or your relationship with your lover. If you haven't listened to the breadwinner episodes, I would go and listen to the breadwinner episodes, because there's more in there, and I'm going to come and do another episode on this. But something to just leave you guys with, because very often we hold ourselves back because we think, if I get this thing, I will lose this thing. So if I get my dream family, that could be something that you're manifesting, I will lose my friendships. If I get my dream job, I will lose my ability to be an amazing mother. If I make X money, I will lose the hot sex in my relationship. We often think that we can't have both. And you might consciously sit here and go, no, I believe I can have both. Do you? Just check. Do you really, really, really believe that you can have both? And so I'm going to end on this. Don't just hire people that can help you to believe that you can have both. Hire people that show you, because they're the embodiment, because embodiment is superior to teaching. Anyone can teach something. Can they embody it? Right? It's like when people get stuck on, oh, where did they go to university? When they're looking at like, I don't know, figuring out what doctor to go to, or like the coach to hire, or whatever it is. And I'm like, how many doctors have we all been to that goes to like Harvard? I don't know if you can go to Harvard for becoming a doctor. And their answer is like, here's the pill. Us women, we know that situation, right? It doesn't matter what fucking university you've gone to. Are you actually good at your job? When it comes to anybody in the space of like healing, therapy, etc., embodiment is far superior to what they can teach you on Instagram, to what they can read off a script, to their degree. Like embodiment. There is a lack of depth when you don't embody something. You can tell there's a lack of depth in somebody because they won't include nuances, because they don't know the nuances. And if you throw them a situation with random nuances, or like it's a little bit like, left of center, like it's not like a cookie cutter situation, they will come back to a cookie cutter answer. Like one of the ways that you can tell. If you're thinking about hiring me, hiring somebody else, do your due diligence, is what I'm going to say. We recently had a situation, somebody very well known in the industry, unfortunately, he took the name of one of my programs and blocked me and my whole team, which was the weirdest fucking thing. And one of you actually DM'd it to me being like, he's literally taken like this name. Long story short, we worked it out, whatever, like we have lawyers and it was all fine. But even when I said to him, because I actually thought, oh, maybe it was a team member. And then even when I actually said to him, like, hey, it could be a good idea to just like mention something on your stories, because obviously my community has like commented on your posts and blah, blah, blah. And obviously, like, my community knows about this, like that's going to affect your reputation and like how they see you. You might want to just like put on your stories, like just to clear it up so that people can feel that integrity from you. And he responded being like, all right, have a nice day, or something. I don't even have it. It wasn't even all right. He was like, thanks or something, have a nice day. I can't remember what it was. It was like, my whole team was like, did you see his reply? Like, what the fuck? And I like spent the time writing a message to him. And that was just like, some of you know what I'm talking about because you were in the DMs with us talking about it. But it was just like, if you feel that ick, even if you feel that ick towards me, then don't fucking hire me. Like, then we're not aligned. Like, you want to feel fully activated by somebody. You want to feel like yes to their energy. And you want to make sure you also don't just tune into their energy, but also like the logistical things. But it just really highlighted to me these days. And I know with AI and everything, so many people are just getting more like discerning. It just made me realize the importance of like, okay, if you're not aware of how the coaching world works or like how online courses work, I wrote this long blog post for you of all the things to just be aware of, because it will help you to do your due diligence when seeing if somebody would be a good fit for you. It's not about just, are they good at their job? It's, are they a good fit for you? You. Because in healing, it's not just this A plus B equals C. In healing, you need to feel seen by somebody, connected to somebody. You need to feel safe with somebody. You need to feel like, oh my God, this person gets it, right? You don't just want to feel like they're good at their job. You want to feel like they are my person. That's what you want, right? We're not hiring a lawyer. Okay. That's totally different. We're not hiring a lawyer. We're not hiring a fucking like finance dude. We're hiring someone to help us become the best version of ourselves.